who was the guy?
I was
And I
thinking
had the
same
right
thing.
guy. You're the,
No, I thought, what, the guy, and you picked it, and you got it right away.
somebody was looking out for me on that one. I'm thinking, who would they have talked about in school this week? I was trying to figure out. Let us pray. Chaos seems to reign sometimes, Lord. And it's something that is as old as time. But it is uncomfortable. So let us remember the words from the Buddha. Stand together, assist one another, and strengthen one another's efforts to follow the way. Be like siblings in your quest for love, holiness, and zeal for truth, and spread the truth in all corners of the world so that in the end, all beings can be counted as citizens of the kingdom of the righteousness in this holy community. And so we thank the Buddha for his thought, and we stand together, we pace ourselves, we take care of one another so that we can continue to guide the work of a nation, the work of a community, the work of a church and a family, building the stability upon which all people can rest their feet. Amen. This is kind of a difficult time to be preaching. I sit there on Saturdays and there's this wealth of things that have happened, lots of material every week. But what is it that I talk about? What is it that I should bring to each of you to hear? What will speak to you? And so I do a lot of research and a lot of reading and a lot of thinking. And as I thought about today's Old Testament reading, Psalm 15 was the traditional liturgy for entrance to the temple. So as you walked into the Jewish temple, you would hear someone reciting Psalm 15, and you as a practicing Jew would also be reciting it. It was a way of making the transition from everyday life into the moment that you would be in the temple and prepare you for what you were about to hear, the teaching you were about to hear. Walk straight, act right, tell the truth. Don't hurt your friend, don't blame your neighbor. Keep your word, make an honest living. Those are all parts of that liturgy. And a practical reminder as you entered the temple of how you should be receiving the Word of God and how you should be responding to the community as a practicing Jew. A way to prepare. A way to open our minds and our hearts to reload that passion and that strength and that courage and that hope. And that's what I like to do on Sundays. I like to reload your hope and your passion, your energy, so that you can go back out into the fray of the week. And so I try to hold this time sacred, free of some of the political chaos, free of some of the negativity, so that we can rejuvenate and build a foundation of hope and energy upon which to enter into our week that will see us through the whole week. And the New Testament passage today is one I always see it when I see it in the lecture. I get kind of excited. I like Beatitudes. I think Beatitudes is an interesting and fun scripture to preach from. It is what Jesus shared as part of the Sermon on the Mount. You've heard it before. Blessed are those who are mourning. They will be consoled. Blessed are those who are gentle. They will inherit the land. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for justice, because they will have their fill. Blessed are those who show mercy to others, as they will be shown mercy. And blessed are those whose hearts are clean, for they will see God. And blessed are those who work for peace, for they will be called the children of God. And blessed are those who are persecuted, because they will struggle for justice, and the kingdom of heaven will be theirs. And in the Message version, we hear it this way: you're blessed when you feel lost, You're blessed when you feel you've lost what is most dear to you. Only then can you be embraced by the one most dear to you. You're blessed when you're content with just who you are, no more, no less. That's the moment you find yourselves proud owners of everything that can't be bought. You're blessed when you've worked up a good appetite for God. You're blessed when you care. At the moment of being careful, you find yourselves cared for. You're blessed when you get your inside world, your mind and your heart, just right, because then you can see God in the outside world. You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family. You're blessed when your commitment to God provokes persecution, because the persecution drives you even deeper into God's kingdom. And not only that, count yourselves blessed every time people put you down or throw you out or speak lies about you or discredit God. What it means is that the truth is too close for comfort, and they are uncomfortable. You can be glad when that happens. You can even give a cheer. For though they don't like it, I do. And all of heaven will also applaud. And know that you are in good company, because my prophets and my witnesses have also gotten into this kind of trouble. Many versions of the Bible, many translations, side-by-side sample there. I thought the Message version gave me a little more to think about in terms of practically putting it out there. I still like the old standard, blessed are they. Yesterday I read this post from a friend of mine on Facebook, and I subsequently shared it on our Facebook page. I am one of those people who will be sitting in church tomorrow singing. Sharon has a marvelous voice. She sings with Trinity Lutheran Church in downtown Detroit. I'm one of those people who will be sitting in church tomorrow, will be singing. My heart is filled with grief for our nation and the message of refusal we are sending to those in the greatest need. I cannot express clearly enough how many immigrants from refugee nations I have worked with in the medical field. Educated, giving, caring, contributing, and now citizens of America. The entire cardiology physicians team at one of the hospitals I work in is from Syria. They are the ones you see in the ER who will put your heart back to beating. And yet we say no to their family members and friends who have yet to escape from the hell on earth that is Aleppo. We say no to their women and children. We say no to the commands of Christ. I will be in church. My voice will sing. But my heart will be bleeding in prayer for those we have turned our backs on. I thought she said it quite nicely. The thoughts and the concerns that we all probably have had this week about those who are being turned away, or who may be stuck in transit, or who are stuck in a reality that is less than healthy. We're all hurting from this chaos and these inconsiderate words and the alternative facts of the week. It's not something to be ignored this Sunday. And we're in a transition of presidential power. We've done it before. We make it look easy to the rest of the world, and yet I think this time we have an outgoing president who has attempted to be gracious and considerate and helpful. And we have a new president who has been content with creating chaos. And it's difficult then to hear an orderly message from the Bible in the messy din of this riotous redirection, alternate facts, and executive orders. But I suspect the new president can then say, I did what I said I would do. I can't help it. The Senate and the Congress didn't do what I told them to do. how do we keep from being paralyzed as we watch all of this go on? Constantly at guard for the next action, constantly trying to figure out how to make our work effective in our ministries. Well, you know, Jesus didn't sit around and wait to see what the Roman emperor was going to do next. I'm not sure Jesus even considered what the Roman emperor might do next. He taught, he engaged, he led discussions. He took action, he sat down, he had dinner, he talked to whomever would listen. The Roman Empire was a chaotic place too, but he didn't let it stop him from doing the teaching that he had been sent to do. Gathering in all who would listen, regardless of whether they were tall or short, had brown eyes or blue eyes, had brown skin or white skin, had yellow skin, he didn't care. He talked to them all. He brought them all in for the teaching. So maybe we shouldn't sit around and worry about the chaos either. We need to keep moving our ministries forward. We need to keep doing the work, participating, training, leading that we have been doing before. Because the goal of these chaos creators, I remember early in my work career having somebody tell me, be careful of the chaos creators because they can stop you in your tracks. They cause this redirection over here. You're trying to get something to move over here. Ignore them to the best of your ability. Give them a limited amount of your energy. Put your energy over here where you're making a difference. Just step away from the craziness they create. Step away. You can acknowledge the craziness, but step away and do what you can do to move your work forward. Walk straight. Act right. Tell the truth. Don't hurt your friend. Don't blame your neighbor. Keep your word. Make an honest living. You're entering that temple. You're entering that temple and you're transitioning. And as I prepared for the sermon, I read a blog from the Reverend John Palovitz, and it probably speaks more to what we're all thinking and feeling, and so I share it now. Reverend Palovitz says, "Dear world, we felt we needed to say something while saying something is still allowed. We know many of you have lived under malevolent, unhinged dictators before, but this is kind of new for us. For its history, our nation has been led by men who, despite their varying flaws and deficiencies, some of which were quite disturbing, they were by and large normal human beings. Whatever darkness in them, they had, at the very least, a baseline of humanity and decency that more often than not ensured rational behavior. This man that we have as a president today is not one of those men. He is devoid of integrity and he does not speak for us. Please understand that nearly 3 million more people voted for his opponent than for him." We realize this is kind of completely screwed up from your perspective. Millions have voted for other candidates, and sadly, nearly 90 million of our people did not vote at all. The point is, the vast majority of Americans are not with him. He does not speak for us. His America is not our America. And over the past week, we've watched long erected pillars of our republic bulldozed in the stroke of a madman's pen. We've seen the very hallmarks of who we are as a nation tossed in the garbage. Our celebration of diverse coexistence, the open welcome to the press, and the guarantee of unalienable rights for every person. The same access to health and opportunity and safety afforded to everyone, the freedom to speak without censor or restraint. At this moment, these are in great jeopardy. Things that we took for granted. Things like goodness, wisdom, and basic truthfulness are no longer in play. And as things are running quickly, we just wanted to let you know, world, we're sorry. We're sorry that our apathy and laziness have yielded such a reckless, impulsive man. We're sorry for the jagged, bitter ugliness that's characterizing us in these moments. We're sorry to those suffering greatly who have braved such peril as to seek refuge here and who've now been turned away based on a faith that they profess. We're sorry to hear our Mexican neighbors who've been fashioned into convenient villains for erecting a grandiose, wasteful display of false protection that we don't want. We're sorry to Muslims everywhere who've been used as pawns to generate irrational fear among those already susceptible to discrimination. And we're sorry to the leaders of the world who, instead of being met by a level-headed, measured, intelligent dialogue, are now going to be greeted with the social media rantings of a furious child. We're sorry to those who now experience the Christian faith as a racist, nationalistic bully pulpit wielded with malice. We're sorry to people everywhere whose lives are being made more tenuous, more violent, and less safe, less secure than they'd been before. And we want you to know that this is not who we are. It may be who this man is, it may be who those sharing power with him are, it may even be the tens of millions who originally voted for him, though that support is vanishing quickly. But this is not America, and it's not the steady, strong beacon of freedom that it was intended to be, and it's not the America of our people who have fought and died for it. It is not the one first formed in the crucible of oppression and cast into the words of our ever disregarded Constitution. This is not our America. Our America affirms the inherent priceless beauty of every human being. Our America declares that no person is ascribed less value because of their skin color, religion, gender, financial means, sexual orientation, nation of origin, or any other variable. Our America is home to those seeking hope and peace and rest. And we are going to fight for this America. Through political channels and through grassroots activism, through the use of our press and our personal voices, we're going to expose this incompetence. We're going to condemn violent, reckless, vicious acts when they do not reflect our hearts and our will. And we hope that in whatever way you can, you will stand with us. We know that we have made this mess ourselves. We understand that you have your own problems to contend with, some far more urgent and pressing than this. But we believe that we are a single community, that we are tethered together in our humanity, and that we are in real time crafting the life of our children and the life that their children will inherit. So, dear world, we're sorry, and we hope you'll endure these days with us, and we will, in peace and unity with you, the American majority. His message, that we are, as Christians, not what is being represented. That we will walk right, that we will act right, that we will tell the truth, that we won't hurt our friends, and that we won't blame our neighbors. We'll keep our words, we'll make an honest living. That we recognize that all humanity is God's divinely inspired creation, and we will answer this call to do more work and not to be distracted, to pay attention, because we can. We have the freedom to do that. We know that. And the only way to show what true Christians are is to continue to do the work that Christian mission work has done for centuries. A great deal of the work that gets done in the world is done for the right reason by Christian ministries. So, you know how to get it done. You know who we are as Christians. If you've forgotten, take a look at Matthew 5, 1 through 12, the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes are always there as a positive reminder of who we are and what we do. We bring hope. We bring love. We bring justice. We fight oppression. And we fight violence. I watch you do it every day of the week. Go forth this week and do it again. For our job, unfortunately, still needs to be done. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.